arrived at the famous Autodromo Nazionale di Monza just on the outskirts of Milan for the running of the Italian Grand Prix, the home of the Ferrari Red Tifosi. And coming into this week, unlike in previous seasons, a Ferrari driver has been announced for 2020 here in Monza, along with another team that has announced a driver this week as well. The first team news of the day of course concerns Ferrari, as to the shock of no one, they have announced that two-time race winner Laura Chung will remain with the team for another season. Laura has had a brilliant first year with the prancing horse, despite being beaten at the moment by current teammate Joseph Willows and a few shaky moments during the season. She currently lies 4th in the Drivers' Championship, 17 points behind Red Bull driver Miklos Gau, and her team Ferrari lies 2nd in the Constructors, 4 points behind current leaders Mercedes. Laura was of course given a lifeline by Ferrari at the beginning of the season, as she initially didn't have a drive for 2019. However, when Florian Volker announced his sudden retirement at the end of last season, which led to Amar Khan moving over to Mercedes, it left Laura Chung, who was originally meant to be the test driver, the opportunity to take the seat, and she has made use of her opportunity by taking 2 wins so far this season at Spain and last week at Belgium. Laura will be happy to know that she'll still be with the prancing horse next season, and she'll be hoping to have another brilliant season where she may end up being the team leader. The question now on Ferrari is who will be her teammate, with Joseph Willows leaving the team at the end of the season to rejoin McLaren. Rumours have ranged for the likes of David Kupok and Roberto Gamba if they miss out on an AlphaTauri seat, to Robert Ionescu, who could return to the top class with his dream team, to even former Haas and Sauber driver Bartosz Klos, who has only recently just become a contender for Ferrari, given that he is currently ahead of Ionescu in the DTM Drivers' Championship, and the fact that just like with David and Roberto, he has the prancing horse down as his number 2 choice, with his number 1 choice ironically being Haas, which is the team he drove for back in 2015. It will be very interesting to see who Ferrari ends up choosing as Laura's teammate for 2020. The second and final team news today concerns Manor, as they have announced that 2018 DTM champion Rosetta Martinez will remain with the team in Manor's final season. Rosetta has had a decent rookie season after skipping GP2 to join the top class. He currently lies last in the Drivers' Championship, being the only driver so far yet to score a point, and his team Manor lie last in the Constructors, 7 points behind fellow Mercedes engine team Williams. Rosetta not scoring points this season, just like with his teammate Maxim Titkov last season, is not a true reflection of his pace this season. An example of his pace came at Belgium last week, where apart from spinning at the Clom and having contact with his teammate at P1, he was fighting with a load of midfield cars during the race, even keeping back the 2 McLarens before the first round of stops. He was unlucky not to finish that race due to a pit lane entry crash with the Racing Point of Roland Motrin, who was another driver that Rosetta was battling with during the race. Rosetta will be happy to know that he will be with Manor in their final season, and he will be hoping to give the team a good send-off in 2020. The question now on Manor is who will be his teammate. Maxim Titkov does have a chance of being retained for next season, however he may need to up his game given that his performances as of late have been a cause for concern at the team despite picking up 2 points this season at China. If he isn't able to pick up his performances, then there is a chance that current Formula E Championship contender Amelia Wilson could grab the second Manor seat off of Maxim Titkov. If the team ends up going with Amelia, then she will end up being the second female on the grid in 2020, given that we know now that Laura Chung will remain with Ferrari for another season. It will be very interesting to see over the next few weeks who Manor ends up choosing to be Rosetta's teammate in their final season. And that is it for this week's edition of the GP4OC News. The next team news will break at the returning Korean Grand Prix next week, who will be announced during Tuesday's practice session next week at the Korea International Circuit in Yeognam.